let's rap about Gosling for a beat, shall we? I mean, it was all well and good in my first rant about the trailer for this movie to cut a few yucks at his expense, talking about his wonky-ass eyeballs, or how Hollywood seemingly flipped a switch at random and decided the bitch from Breaker High was suddenly leading man material, when his actual acting talent is outstripped by the average underwear model turned actor on the C-fucking-W. Look, you're a producer. You're cast in a sequel to the definitive future noir, something this movie also lacks in spades, but we'll get to that in a fucking minute. You have your choice of a gravel, gargling, downbeat protagonist. Maybe a hard ass, a wise ass, a lesser actor with Marlboro Man good luck. You know, fuck it. Let's go with the wall-eyed chameleon-looking fuck who regularly confuses acting with looking like you're holding in a shit and whose Canadian accent is thicker than freeze-dried marmalade. Because that's what I need to hear tumbling from the maw of my world-weary cyber cop lead. A Ned fucking Flanders accent. Oakley-dokley do, Sharino. Fuck between Gosling, the director, and a half dozen others. I'm halfway convinced Blade Runner 2049 is in fact an elaborate conspiracy to keep Canada employed. And what's the occupational imperative in designing a replicant who sees in the fucking IMAX format exactly? Moreover, why does the head of a Fortune 500 company have a hipster beard and a side shave? More to the point, why does the shitty musician masquerading as an even shittier actor think dramatic pauses and vocal tics substitute for actual acting talent? Maybe dial it the fuck back on the Heath Ledger worship there, Geordie LaShore. Really, that's what this film suffers from in its entirety. The complete absence of a compelling antagonist. Stevie Blunder over there doesn't have a dickish thought till the third fucking act of the film, and Yoga Pants McResting Bitchface murders half that county and is still only mildly annoying. Rutger Hauer stole the entire goddamn movie. Jared Leto couldn't steal an episode of Captain Kangaroo. Not that Laurence Olivier could have wrangled even a modicum of subtlety from this sledgehammer fucking dialogue.
We need more replicants than can ever be assembled. Millions, so we can be trillions more. We could storm Eden every day.
This breaks the world, Kay.
That's your masterful motherfucking writing. That's what you no-taste have and animal-loving dipshits, weaned as you all were on the latent inferiority of Blade Runner as interpreted by the Japanese, are spurging the fuck out at me on Twitter about. That shit? Are you on this earth?
Hey, you've been getting on fine without one.
What's that, man?
A soul.
Greatest sequel of all time, ladies and gentlemen. Fucking really? Fuck on the nose. This dialogue is up it. We break company with the plot no less than 4 times over the course of this film, so Sped Flanders can chat up an often ancillary character and explain the story to that fucking point, which would be merely annoying in any other film, but in a sequel to Blade Runner, perhaps the most pronounced example in contemporary cinema of show, don't tell storytelling, a movie where the strongest evidence for Deckard's replicantastic subtext came in the form of a fuzzy, out-of-focus background shot. 90% of the audience blinked and fucking missed. This dialogue is a fucking affront to the Blade Runner legacy, and shame on the fanboy brigade for defending it. And if Anita was pissed about Deckard force fucking a dishwasher, one can only speculate as to the cyclopean shitfit she'll throw when she ultimately catches wind of Special K and his portable pocket pussy, who between the Latin ancestry and omnipresent expository dialogue strikes me less as a fully fleshed out character and more as Dennis Villeneuve's waifu wish fulfillment. Fucking ringe! When she isn't spelling out the plot in neon pink fucking letters, she's reminding us all that stuttering hologram effects haven't improved one iota since Star Trek The Next Generation. And really, these are the CGI visuals Screen Rant and the rest of you vajayjays are shrieking from the mountaintops, quote, never once look fake? Where's the grit? Where's the nighttime? Where's the texture, you tits? I mean, he crash lands in a garbage dump and it still looks too sleek. And here's a fucking query. Is lack of texture not attribute fucking 1 on the list of characteristics that define shitty CGI? It's shit! Shut up and admit it! It looks like a fucking video game in places, one that's often way too antiseptic and ass blast the atmosphere, texture, and tone of the original in the process, devolving from a futuristic noir into Children of Men. Compare Tyrell's bedchambers. Opulent, yes, spacious as well, but cluttered, stacked to the gills with irrelevant minutia. Now, compare that to Wallace HQ, where Villeneuve overcompensates for his sparse set design by ear-fucking the aquatic lighting effect Ridley Scott used in exactly 1 scene of the original until it lapses from odd but visually stimulating to, hey Aquaman, shut your fucking nightlight off. Nothing looks fake. Really? Even Grand Moff Rachel over here. That bitch was doing somersaults at the base of the uncanny valley. Fuck, compared to the shitty Korean knockoff Natural City, these visuals don't hold up. Ponder the fuck out of that for a beat. And Villeneuve, may I politely inquire, what prompted your 20-kilometer pulsating erection for holograms exactly? The original film of which features nary a fucking one? But at least every underwhelming microsecond of the film in question will be scored by the Vangelis value, but I'm sorry, Hans Zimmer. But who couldn't have guessed that fact when the film is festooned with French horn farts? So wait, you got the soundtrack wrong, you got the show don't tell storytelling wrong, got the aesthetic wrong, fuck, thanks to the outright removal of any and all noir elements in what is ostensibly a future fucking noir, you got the goddamn genre wrong, but greatest sequel ever, am I right? Absent those attributes, what do you have left? Fan service. And may I advance the radical suggestion that we could have done with considerably fucking less. It's hard enough watching Deckard bowleg about like a leathery penguin, wowing us with a world-class wardrobe job of jeans and a fucking t-shirt, but I think we all could have done without the crushing depression brought about by retirement home gaff. And could we go ahead and stop blatantly lying and saying this film doesn't even vaguely address the question of Deckard's humanity? It not only addresses, but answers that question, and does so pretty emphatically. Look, if the core plot revolves around robots fucking other robots and pinching out robot babies, not humans and robots, mind you, no one would be freaking out if that were the case, because all you'd have to do is keep them segregated, not horses and replicants, and Coulter could do with a good pipe cleaning. The only way it's dangerous, and the only way this film has a plot, is if it's replicants and other replicants.
I cannot breathe it, so help me, I have tried.
Having accepted this fact, someone's gonna need to explain the fuck to me how the same film flipping the fuck out because Deckard fucked the shit out of Rachel and made a Fisher-Price robot is not basically shouting from the goddamn mountaintops that Deckard is a goddamn replicant. Congrats on ripping off the plot to Children of Men, by the way, which was itself more than a bit of a Blade Runner ripoff. Which is probably what I find most disappointing about this film in general. Instead of paving a new path a la the original, it is inspired, and blatantly so, by movies that were themselves inspired by Blade Runner. I mean, you ever cringe when, for example, Dokken cut a record that was basically a bargain basement audio slave ripoff, or when Metallica cuts a fucking radio rock record? Well, you're repressing a dry heave for the exact same reason I consider Blade Runner 2049 a repugnant fucking insult. From short films by anime aficionados who've been butt-fucking the Blade Runner brand for their entire career, to the film itself borrowing thematic and a visual iconography even from its disciples, for all the critics shallow shrillifying about how sure the movie bombed, but it's been made to last, there's something profoundly fucking low rent and of the moment about being inspired by who and whatever the fuck happens to be popular at the time. You think, for example, the mind-bendingly obvious Nolan inspiration's gonna age well here? Have you tried watching The Dark Knight Rises recently? Fuck, even The Dark Knight? I'm not saying either of them are bad, but let's just say there's more than a few arcane aspects that are decidedly of their time. This ain't the path to immortality. That way lies the bargain bin, bitch. And if the circle jerk of Johnny-come-latelys descend from their fart huff and hoedown to condescend to my ass about the legacy of the original film and the merits of this sequel as a follow-up one more time, I'll open fucking fire, folks. Well, sure, Razor's seen the movie hundreds of times. Sure, he's repeatedly expressed the sentiment that it's been his favorite film since he had a favorite fucking film. Sure, he's got signed copies of the script, the Criterion and Director's Cut Laserdisc, the original 82 spinner. Sure, he bought props from the film, and yeah, he once claimed there was an entire year where every day after class he'd throw on the film, meaning in 1 year alone he saw it well in excess of 300 titty fucking times. Sure, he wrote a thesis on the subject, but hey, I just saw the final cut on Netflix 5 days ago. Better hip check this fucker into my whirlpool of wisdom. And that ain't me flexing my fanboy cock, folks. It's me establishing that I know Blade Runner, which is why I know it didn't need a sequel. I further know, even if we got a sequel, what it should look like. And bitch, it ain't a haggard-ass Harrison Ford shovel fucking around in jeans and a pit-stained wife-beater. Blade Runner 2049 is pretty much exactly what I expected this movie to be. Occasionally pretty, pretense squared. And the legacy of the original deserves better than French-Canadian Chris Nolan presents Wanna Blade Runner. Greatest sequel of all time, my aching ass. It's a full-length fucking fan film. Blow me!
To your mind, yes, you will find that we were better off before. The sands of time have closed the door. We were better off before.
It's too bad. won't live. But then again, who does?
You are fake news.